I spoke last week with Angelo Carusone from Media Matters, and we talked about the escape hatch that right-wing media and many Republicans have set up for themselves when it comes to Donald Trump and 2024. It looks as though the Murdoch family, through news corporations, the New York Post, is pulling the ripcord on the escape hatch, publishing a front page piece, Trumpty Dumpty, depicting Donald Trump as a swollen-headed Humpty Dumpty, saying Don, who couldn't build the wall, had a great fall. Can all the GOP's men put the party back together again? This is a piece, it's an opinion piece in the New York Post by John Podhoretz. And John Podhoretz calls the piece, Here's How Donald Trump Sabotaged the Republican Midterms, or whoever picked the title called it that. Often it's not the writer. And points out that Donald Trump has had 3 consecutive elections in which he has arguably been a drag, if not a downright disaster, for the Republican Party. Think of it. Donald Trump won the presidency in 2016, riding on a number of different things that included, of course, James Comey opting to do a second press conference to talk about Hillary Clinton for some reason we still haven't figured out, and many other factors. Trump won in 2016 genuinely. He really won. 2018 didn't go nearly as well for Republicans as historically maybe it should have. 2020, Trump straight up lost, and they lost everything. They lost the House, the Senate, and the White House in 2020. And now in 2022, I know Trump is saying, oh, I'm 215. I have 200 of endorsements I got right and 15 I got wrong. But as I've told you before, it's very easy to run up the score when you're mostly endorsing incumbents and Republican nominees in safe red districts. But on the critical races that would make a difference, Michigan governor, Pennsylvania Senate, Georgia Senate, we have the list, right? Trump's record is not very good in 2022. And Rupert Murdoch and his family seem to be saying, we're out. A couple different things that are important to think about here. My concern with all of this, I don't really care. I don't care at all about the Murdoch family, News Corporation, Fox News, the internal deliberations of the Republican Party, Ronna McDaniel. I don't care about any of these people. I think they're all horrible. I think it's a misguided movement. My concern is what would be the most damaging scenario to themselves? How can they themselves damage themselves the most? Is it Trump announces on Tuesday that he's running for president and everybody gets out of the way? Does that now lead to 2 years of further humiliation and another big loss in 2024? If that's the worst case scenario for Republicans, that's the one I want. On the other hand, is a very snipey and a sort of a lowbrow battle between Trump and DeSantis for the Republican Party for the next 2 years the most damaging thing to Republicans, which will weaken them and make them crumble and erode such that they get crushed in 2024. That's my concern. Whatever is the worst thing for them is what I want to see happen. Right now, it seems as though the infighting is good for the left and good for Democrats. And Trump is already attacking Ron DeSantis. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And there are many reasons to think that the Murdochs now feeling free to pull the ripcord is a good thing. We're going to talk about this plenty more. We're linking to the piece by John Podhoretz. I know it's the New York Post, but the whole point is it's interesting to see how even they now are portraying Trump. And specifically, I now want to talk about Pennsylvania.